Okay, welcome to Sleep Month. I'm chatting with Kerry Dolan. Kerry, do you want to just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, of course. I'm Kerry Dolan. I'm a hypnotherapist and wellbeing coach, working with women's health issues generally. So anything from fertility all the way up through menopause and beyond.
Awesome. Right, this month's sleep. It's a biggie. What's
Yeah.
your take? What's your take?
Oh, so again, I think I say this with every issue that comes up. There's so many threads to it, aren't there? And with all of the menopause issues, sometimes if you can unpick one thread, it really helps to sort everything out. So and I think that is particularly true of sleep. And there's so the first thing is to recognize how important it is. Sleep is crucial at this time of our lives. And if you look at teenagers, I think it's important to look at teenagers a lot, actually, because teenagers don't have too many responsibilities. Most teenagers, anyway, don't have too many responsibilities. And they're going through a similar hormonal kind of turmoil in reverse. You know, it's where their hormones are coming up, ours are going down, but it has a very similar effect. So if you look at what teenagers naturally do at this time, their sleep. I mean, my daughter literally went from being up, springing out of bed at 6:30 in the morning to needing to be shaken awake at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, that happened practically overnight. So the need for sleep just skyrockets. And that's because the body's making a lot of changes. There's a lot of work going on in the background as our bodies change and make that shift. You know, the hormones have shape our brains, they shape everything, and when the hormone levels change, then everything is changing. So there is, first of all, an increased need for sleep, and then on top of that, we also have a lot of things going on that decrease our ability to sleep. So, you know, you've got hot flushes, increased anxiety. Most of us have a lot more responsibility. You know, women may well be reaching the pinnacles of their careers at this point, so there's a lot more responsibility there. They may be caring for parents. So there's an increase in stress, an increase in all these things, and also hormonally, those people who've been pregnant, you know, there's the drop in hormones through pregnancy, or the drop in our regular hormones through pregnancy, make us we sleep less deeply. And a similar thing happens in perimenopause, that the kind of hormonal template is not dissimilar to that. So we are essentially lighter sleepers. So those of us that might well have always slept really soundly might find we're more easily disturbed at this. So you've got the need for sleep and all of these things that are working against you. So I think the first thing to really understand, or the most important thing to understand about sleep and the menopause, is the or at any time, is the correlation between sleep and the restful state, so the opposite of the fight or flight response. So in order to get to sleep and in order to stay asleep, we need to be in the relaxation response. And so all the things like stress and anxiety and pressure at work and at home are taking us a long way away from the relaxation response. So in order to get into sleep, we do need to give ourselves a wind down time, first and foremost. And I think we're so good at that when we're raising children, or even, you know, those of us that haven't had children, we're still aware of those kind of routines, the bedtime routine, the dimmer lights, the reading stories, the gentle, quiet voices. And yet, you know, we quite often expect ourselves to finish our last email, then lie down and be out sparko. And of course, it doesn't happen. So there's a real need for women to learn to let go and relax, first of all, in order to get down there. And then if you are disturbed in the night with a hot flush or something, you know, or a partner who comes to bed or snores, or, you know, dares to breathe or move in the night, then being really mindful of staying in that relaxation response. So for example, yeah, my husband, because I've brought my bedtime forward about an hour in order to make sure that I get enough sleep these days. So my husband tends to come up after me, and quite often it sounds like he's coming in really making a lot of noise. I'm sure he doesn't deliberately smash and bang things around, but it certainly seems like that. So I found initially I was getting really irritated with him, raging really about his nerve of coming up after hours and waking me up. And of course, rage is a very, very long way away from the relaxation response. So, you know, and similarly, if I'd just been disturbed in the night by something, you know, you wake up and you start to panic, and then you are moving further and further away from the, oh gosh, you know, there's only 2 hours till I have to be up. It's going to take me an hour to get to sleep. So I think it's really important to start to work out what your internal monologue is if you're not asleep, either when you're trying to get to sleep in the first place or if you wake up in the night, and just making sure that it is something that is calming. So, you know, if you're panicking about the hours, if you're a clock watcher and you wake up and you're panicking about the time, then what you want to shift that to is some kind of mantra that says something like, time is unimportant, I'm resting, and resting is the first stage of sleep. So instead of trying to sleep, just accepting that, you know, relaxation is a good thing. You know, if nothing else, if you don't go to sleep but you have 2 hours of lying relaxed in your bed, that's a good thing. And focusing on things like, you know, the comfy duvet or the comfy bed. And, you know, if you don't have a comfy bed, get a comfy bed. We all deserve a comfy bed. But so, you know, if that's your monologue, if you are a person who catastrophizes, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, you know, just coming back to, actually, you know, good things have happened today, it's going to be a good day tomorrow, those kind of soothing thoughts. Somebody who wants to solve everything at night, not necessarily even catastrophizing, but, you know, right, I'm going to plan that speech tomorrow, I'm going to plan that email to the nth degree. Just having that discipline of, right, you know, this is not the time, I'll do that at a more appropriate time. So just finding what it is that you do at those times, and just bringing that down. And of course, if you are doing that, and if you're bringing yourself down into something that feels calmer, then you very quickly drift off to sleep, assuming you're tired. You know, sometimes you've had sufficient sleep, it does happen. But yeah, inevitably, as soon as you stop chasing sleep and panicking about it, then sleep will find you.
Absolutely. Now, aside, sort of separate to this, you've said you're going to do us a recording of an anchoring exercise, which we'll put separately so people can listen to that just on its own if they want to.
Yeah, it's a really good anchors. It's a really good way of using hypnotherapy. It's a naturally occurring thing. An anchor is like a link or a trigger. You know, we all have probably a piece of music or a song that we associate with our partner or with a best friend, and when it comes on, we instantly think of them. So it transports you in, hopefully, to a happy place. Sometimes we have sad songs too. But you transported to that mood, like, you know, this is our song, or oh, this is our song. And so you can create anchors in similar ways just by practicing linking something. So we can create a sleep anchor, so that when we either do a particular action, or you can anchor to your pillow, or you can anchor to a particular action or a particular word, and when you think that thing, it's like a shortcut on your computer essentially. So I can talk you through that, and we'll do it as a separate recording for people.
Yeah, we'll do that separately so that people can just access that if they want to. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kerry.
My pleasure. Lovely to see you.